The Tony Hawk series is one of the most iconic franchises in video game history, and for good reason, with each title improving on the previous one. But let's take a trip to where it all began with Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Developed by Neversoft and published by Activision in 1999, this game took the world by storm. This game really set the standard for skating games to come. But 15 years later, does this game still hold up? We'll take a look as we look at the graphics, audio, and of course, the most important part, the gameplay. Up first is the graphics, and since this game came out in 1999, those are the standards that we will be using. One of the first things that grabs my attention when playing this game is the animation. When you see the characters skating, everything just looks natural. During development, they use actual skaters, Tony Hawk and a couple of the others, to actually portray their moves through motion capture, and it really shows. Along with the animations, the character models and the environments look great as well. Each level has a unique look and feel to it, making the parks very distinguishable from each other and memorable as well. In terms of its graphics, this game really pushed the PS1 to its limits. Even though there's a lot of great textures and high detail when it comes to this game, the game still runs very smooth. I haven't experienced any slowdown at all, even though this game is really fast at times. One thing that really stands this game out from the rest graphically is the use of FMVs. These videos show off a bunch of skaters either failing or doing some cool ass moves. They are very enjoyable to watch, and it really showcases the power of the PS1. With the highly detailed character models, the highly detailed environments, and the smooth animation, this game gets a 9.5 out of 10 for graphics. There are only a select few games that look better than this one on the PlayStation. Now we're on to the audio. One thing that stands out about this game as you're playing is the soundtrack. It's a pretty kick-ass soundtrack, and it features a lot of songs that I still listen to today. One specific notable example is Superman by Goldfinger. Anyone who's played this game back in the day will know exactly what I'm talking about and how awesome that song is. When it comes to the audio though, there's nothing else too notable to say. The sound effects sound pretty natural and they sound pretty cool. The sound when you're grinding on the rails, the sound when you're lifting your board up from the ground, and even the sound when you're bailing sounds pretty good. Everything also sounds pretty clear and nothing sounds staticky, so it really shows the power of the PlayStation 1 when it comes to its audio as well. Either way, the audio gets an 8 out of 10. I have no complaints when it comes to the sound effects, and the music is pretty kick-ass. And there's no better way to end this with Goldfinger. Now we have finally gotten to the gameplay. As you first start up this game, one thing you'll notice is the modes. You have your career mode, 2-player mode, single session, free skate, but the majority of your time will be spent in career mode. So you pretty much choose your skater and you're off to skate. In the career mode, there are a number of goals that you need to complete. These range from getting a certain score, destroying a certain amount of items, finding the secret tape, and of course collecting the skate letters. Completing each goal helps you to unlock tapes, which these tapes help to unlock new parks and also new decks to increase your stats. For the most part, the career mode is pretty enjoyable, but after a while it gets a bit difficult, but then it gets easy again, so it's not too much of a challenge. Along with the various goals to complete, you also have competitions. They are split up to 3 heats, and each heat is 1 minute. In these heats, you have to do the best you can in order to get the good scores from the judges. Personally, these are my favorite parts of the career mode as it really showcases your skills, as well as the excellent skating. So just how good is the skating? Well, at the time of it came out, it pretty much revolutionized single-handedly this whole genre. With that said, the skating feels very natural. You press X to ollie, triangle to grind, circle to do a grab trick, and square to do a flip trick. Use any of the buttons along with the D-pad or the analog stick to produce a variety of tricks. This control scheme is amazing and it really set the standard for not only the future games but also for other skating games to come. One thing that needs to be mentioned about this game are the special tricks. You get to do these special tricks by filling up your meter by doing regular tricks. To do the special tricks, you use it pressing a certain amount of buttons, either down right circle, down left circle, left circle, whatever it is, and you can do some pretty kick-ass tricks. They're also worth a lot of points as well as looking good. Each skater has their own set of special moves, so it's pretty kick-ass to discover each special move for each character. Now the skating is fun and where you can skate is also pretty cool. The parks are certainly memorable, and a lot of them have Easter eggs. Now, even though I enjoyed this game back in the day, and I still do now from time to time, there are some problems about the gameplay that I would like to bring up. First off, the skating engine feels really dated. Some new mechanics like the manual and the revert that became staples of the Tony Hawk series are nowhere to be found here. There are still some pretty cool combos that you can pull off, but they're not as cool and as crazy as the new ones are. Because of this, it has a very grounded feel to it, and some people might appreciate that over the, crazy antics and crazy tricks that you can pull off in the new ones. Either way, one thing that is definitely a con, no matter what you say about it, is the lack of diversity between each of the characters. Yeah, they all have their own special moves, and yeah, they do have their own stats to first start with, but pretty much every single one performs the same exact regular moves. In the new ones, you were able to edit it and put new moves that you unlock and new types of tricks, but here it's pretty limited. So enough with the skating, and let's go back to the career mode. So as well as unlocking new parks and a secret skater, you also get a video. These are actually really cool, and I remember back in the day watching this and thinking that I can do it. But then I went outside and I failed horribly. So every time you beat the career mode, you start with a new character. They all have the same exact missions, and even though it does seem a little tedious at first, it's actually not, because since you've played these maps so many times and you've played these missions so many times, you're able to find out and complete all these goals with ease. Heck, you get to a point where you can just do all goals in just one run. Besides the career mode and playing by yourself, you also have two-player mode. You have graffiti, trick attack, and horse, but free skate is lacking. Fortunately, it was added in new installments, and there are a lot more things that were added in the new games. This includes a create a park mode, create a skater mode, and a bunch of other modes that we became accustomed to as the years went on. Now with all that said, this game gets a 7 out of 10 for gameplay. The skating in the game is still fun, but it's just been done better in the new installments. However, it's certainly not bad by no means. There's still a lot of fun to be had in the gameplay. The tracks are awesome, and there's a lot of memorable things that you can do in this game. And now we're on to the closing thoughts. When it comes to Tony Hawk Pro Skater, there are a lot of things to like about this game, and even though this game is over 15 years old, it is still an enjoyable experience. This game has aged very well, but there are some things that I do prefer in the newer games that aren't here. Specifically the park creator, the more customization, the more controls you have over each skater, the more diverse each skater is, being able to manual, being able to revert, and more advanced manual controls, so on and so forth. However, this game set the basis for future installments of the series. Either way, I give this game a 7.5 out of 10. I'd recommend this to Tony Hawk fans if you haven't played this, and for video gamers who would like to relive the 90s and the awesome time that it brought. Either way, this is Pow3rh0use signing off.